funny is that just from a world situation, sport brings people together. And, it's like, who better than a sport with Russia or Iran, or North Korea? Because, it's like, or Turkey, they just, especially the first two, they just, we're always in conflict, it seems like, with them. But when it comes to wrestling, we have something in common. And we usually end up losing to both Russia and Iran, but sometimes we beat them too. And we are well known for good wrestling, and that has helped, I think, the country be better off.
I had Jordan Burroughs on, and he was describing to me what it's like to wrestle in Iran and how massive the sport is over there. And he's a giant star over there. And he's like, and people are so friendly and so inviting and so accepting and just so happy to see great wrestling. And just wrestling is just an enormous sport over there and immensely popular.
Well, when I won the Olympics in 1972, their most popular athlete was the guy in my weight class.
Wow.
The Iranian. And I'd been in the Worlds a year before, but before that he had two Olympic titles and every world title in between. And all of a sudden he became so popular that the government was a little concerned about him, that the people were more appreciative of him than the government.
Right.
And so when he went to the Munich Olympics, even though he had lost the year before, because I was there and I won the weight class, we didn't get to wrestle, but he was there and representing Iran in 72, and he won his first match by about 15 points. But he pulled out of the Olympics, and he ended up going to the United States because of his being so popular that he was scared they might do something to him at the government level.
I'm sure you're aware of what happened recently with the wrestler who was killed, the Iranian wrestler who was killed because he was involved in a peaceful protest, and they made an example out of him.
Yeah, and they claimed that he killed somebody, but you can claim whatever you want to help satisfy the people, but chances are he didn't.
Chances are he didn't. It seemed like what they were doing was just making sure that people were scared.
Yep,
and that
exactly.
If they can kill a man who's so beloved and a national hero, they can kill anybody.
Yeah, and the Iranian that came here lives still here in the United States. Yeah,
it's wrestling to me is. It's one of the most important sports because it's one of the very few sports that doesn't have a real. I mean, there's obviously WWE wrestling, and a lot of guys go from wrestling into MMA, but there's not a real professional venue. I mean, Jordan Burroughs does some legit wrestling, actual, amateur style wrestling, and gets paid for matches and stuff now, and has sponsorships and the like. And I'm very happy that he gets recognized and some other wrestlers get recognized, but it's not like basketball. It's not like any other sport where you have Olympic champions go on boxing and become huge stars at a professional level. With wrestling, it's one of the few sports where the people that participate in it, they take pride in the fact that they work in silence. They take pride in the fact that they grind. They take pride in the fact that they are miserable, that their training is unbelievably intense, and that it's so much more intense than most sports. If you had to compare like what an elite baseball player does, you're smiling, right? Versus an elite wrestler, I mean, it's not even comparable.